Yeah, I mean, you look at the world, look, politically, there's everything you see in the news right now, from happening from Ukraine to Israel to everything. I believe it is a scary time. I don't fear anything currently right now, but I know what war looks like, and I know what it looks like kind of brewing. And in your opinion, do you think there's a good potential for us heading to war soon?
Um, we are certainly closer than we've ever been. I think it's less likely when we talk about Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah.
Because Putin, despite the fact that he's off the rails and his invasion was incredibly wrong and misguided, he's still, in a sense, he's still a rational actor, right? His economy is really on the ropes. He can't afford it, and that's why the Soviet Union fell apart. They got outspent, right? And so I think we may see a sea change there in the not too distant future, sometime next year, in part because I think the Russian economy just can't withstand this anymore, right? Yeah. And so there's a real chance that could create an opportunity for a settlement there, hopefully. But I think Iran is a different. The Middle East is a different cat. I think that Israel has made a decision. I think that if not now, when are they going to deal with the top line problem, which is the Iranian regime, not the Iranian people? Great people, great history, great culture. They've been under this regime's thumb for an ungodly amount of time. And the IRGC, the Revolutionary Guard Corps, which has its fingers in every part of the Iranian economy and has made a lot of money off of it, much like the Hamas and Hezbollah leaders that profited off of all this. But all that crisis, all that instability, the Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis, Islamic Jihad, they're all creations, in a sense, of the Iranian regime.
Yeah.
So I think what's probably happened at this stage is, I think Israel has said, look, we can't do this. We can't have another one of these 7 Octobers, right? They know that Hezbollah was planning to do the same type of operation up north, which explains in part why this onslaught to take out the leadership. And now Hezbollah is saying, well, we might be open to a truce. But you could put a ceasefire in place in Gaza. You could put ceasefire in place up on the Lebanese border. You're just putting lipstick on a pig, right? You still got the same problem. You got the Iranian regime and the IRGC, which have the stated objective of destroying Israel. So yes, if Israel goes straight at Iran, maybe their military, infrastructure facilities, in a serious way, and Iran retaliates, I don't know that they will, because the mullahs and the IRGC actually probably want one thing more than they actually want the destruction of Israel, and that's to stay in charge, right?
Yeah.
They probably want to stay in power more than anything else, which is kind of a typical, condition of a despot. And so they may not react, they may not escalate. But if they do escalate, then the U.S., regardless of who's in charge, will step in.
Yeah.
I think you can count on that. Not boots on the ground, but in a very meaningful way. We've already got amazing resources deployed out there, right? So they're in harm's way already. And they're taking fire from the Houthis, as an example.
Yes.
In the Red Sea. So, yeah, I take your point. We're close. But this, never say never. Maybe we get some sea change. It would be wonderful to see some popular uprising within Iran finally, from the people saying, look, enough is enough, and move the mullahs and the IRGC out. I don't know that that's realistic, but that would be a happy day. And a lot of regional players in the Middle East would not be upset to see that regime and the IRGC gone.
And last question, I know you're short on time here, but I want to make sure I ask this. That's in the lines of that same argument or same conversation. Do you fear, because of the massive influx of illegal immigration that's happened in this country, that there could potentially be some attacks here in our own soil?
Absolutely. Yeah, without a doubt. I think it would be willfully naive, ignorant, or whatever you want to call it, to imagine that some people haven't taken advantage of a very porous border to to come in with nefarious intent, and whatever that intent is, whether it's just to be in place, whether it's to recce sites, whether it's to meet up with potential support operating already in the country, it would be insane not to be gaming out what that could be, and that's obviously what local, state, federal law enforcement and others are doing, is trying to mitigate that risk. But as a government, they've made that risk more than it needs to be. They're not mitigating it; they're increasing it by allowing for a more porous border and not taking the problem seriously. I think they're getting close. Again, a lot of whether it's Republicans or Democrats, politicians tend to take things seriously once they realize it could jeopardize their position, right, or their chances of reelection. So I guess it doesn't really matter if that's what prompts them into more action. Fine,
Yeah,
but people have to unask the sofa in Washington D.C. and get serious about this.
absolutely. Sir, I appreciate your time. Honestly, I hope we get more time, just me and you. I'll hit you up directly. We'll connect. But honestly, your
That'd be great.
expertise in this subject and everything is appreciated. Thank you so much.
No, likewise, man. I've really enjoyed the conversation. You got a great program here.
Thank you so much. You have a good day, sir.
You too. Take care, man.
Thank you for listening to Borderland and Ironclad Original. Don't forget to share and tell your friends. Until next time, see you later.